It's the right thing to do, whether you agree or not. Angie, it's the right thing to do, whether you agree or not.
Banning all abortion for all women, even though it kills millions of them not having access to abortion, kills a woman every minute around the globe.
No. That is a lie. That is a lie. It does not kill millions. You're lying.
Actually, it does.
That is a lie. No, it doesn't.
And I can give you
where's your proof?
Okay, she's trying to get you your proof.
I can give you a citation where you can go look these facts up for yourself and see whether or not I am telling the truth. Guttmacher Institute. I'll type it into the chat so you don't have to guess how to spell it. Go to their website. They are an apolitical organization that studies birth control and maternal mortality rates, child care. They study these things globally. They have very good statistics. They are a reliable source. You can go there and verify for yourself the facts that I am sharing with you. Every statistic that I've shared is publicly available information online that I can provide links to back up. Now, Missraissa, you claim that banning all abortions for all women is the quote-unquote right thing to do. Yes. Please back up that claim with facts or go home.
Well, the issue is that you and your friends will not accept my facts as proof. You will disclaim it because it's based on my beliefs. That's where we don't agree.
On observable data. I'm not asking for your Bible verses.
That's not my problem.
They have to be factual.
It's my beliefs, and I believe that, seriously.
Okay, but Missraissa.
Hold up.
Hang on.
Who decides?
Stop.
Okay.
Stop. Here's the problem here.
Okay.
You have just conflated the equality, which does not exist, between belief and fact. When reasonable people use the word fact, we're looking for data, for verifiable data. Belief is not verifiable data.
You believe in facts. I believe in truth. I believe in what... Yes. You can laugh all you want. You can laugh. You can laugh all you want. It doesn't bother me. I believe in truth. I know what's right and what's true. Okay, and a child becomes a human being, is a human being at conception. That's what I believe, and that is what the truth is, whether you agree or not. I'm sorry.
Right, Missraissa, can you provide evidence to support what you just said, that life begins at conception, or that people begin at conception? What's more, actually, can you provide for me a reasonable argument for why any person should be required to become a slave, to have their body used against their will in labor? Can you provide a justification that even if a fetus was a baby, why should it have more rights than actual born people do? Born people don't have the right to use my body against my will. That's why rape and slavery are illegal.
Okay.
Why on earth
I will answer that.
Okay, let her answer.
I will answer in two different ways. The first one I'm going to speak of is the cases which are not abortion, which are the ones where people intentionally have sex. Those cases, you have no excuse. If you open up your legs or you did whatever you had to do, I don't know, and you got pregnant, deal with the consequences. Have your child, be a responsible person, and have your child. If you can take care of your child, give it up for adoption. That's all I can say. Now, for the rape victim, that's a different story, but I will say it this way. I'll be more compassionate about that. I will say, you know what, it's not your fault that you had to go through that. It was painful. I understand. But, I can help you get through that. We can kind of talk about it and get you the help that you need to have your baby, have your child. And if she can handle the child, give it for adoption. That's what I would say. I wouldn't recommend abortion in both cases, but I would deal with it differently, depending on what happened. That's what I would say. And, I'm not looking for anyone to agree with me or to
Can I
side
respond?
with me. Yeah.
Can I respond? I'm going to ask you a yes/no question. I would like a yes/no answer. Okay. Have you ever been raped?
No.
I have. I find it... No, my turn.
Okay.
I asked for a yes/no answer. You gave it. Thank you. It's now my turn. You have never been through this experience, yet you want to condescendingly tell rape victims that you, quote unquote, understand that it's painful. You don't understand a goddamn thing, Missraissa, about rape. You haven't been raped. You are not an expert on rape. You are not a scholar on this. You are not someone who studies domestic violence. You are not someone who studies birth control coercion. You are not someone who studies this. You are not an expert. And yet you feel that because you believe it is right, even though you have absolutely no facts to back this up that you can display for the rest of us, you think that you should get to force a rape victim, someone whose body, whose sexual body has been violated, to continue to have her body violated for another 9 months so that a child can grow up either in foster care or adopted, knowing that it's the product of rape and a mother who couldn't stand to look at it. How on earth can you think that you are a moral person?
Angie, can I tell you something? Okay. I personally have a friend who was conceived through rape.
So do I. What's your point?
No, but listen, because now you want to talk about how this. I understand what you went through, but I have a friend who was conceived through rape.
You don't understand what I went through. That is the most common
Well, I don't. Clearly, I don't, because I've never been through that. I understand that, but I have a friend. I have a friend, Angie, who was conceived through rape. So now, what do you have to say about that? I want to hear what you have to say about that. If you met her, what would you tell her?
That I supported her first mother's right to make the choice whether or not to continue that pregnancy, as I support everyone's right to... You asked my opinion, you said I fight for...
You know what I mean? I'm not just fighting out of the blue. I know why I'm fighting for this.
Ladies.
Yeah.
You asked a question. It would be nice, Missraissa, if you would allow time for the response.
Exactly. Fine.
Okay. So
let her respond.
Thank you.
You asked what I would say to your friend who was born the product of rape if I met her. And what I would say to her is the same thing I say to any woman. I am glad that your birth mother had the choice whether or not to carry you to term. I am not I'm not going around maternity wards poking women with coat hangers trying to cause abortions, Missraissa. I don't care if women abort or carry to term, as long as it's the choice they made for themselves. That is what I care about. If a rape victim chooses to carry to term, I support her right to do so. If a rape victim chooses not to carry to term, I support her right to do so. If the victim of incest chooses to carry to term, I support her right to do so. If a woman who had sex with her boyfriend wants to have an abortion, I support her right to do so. That's pro-choice. I don't care if women abort, adopt, or carry to term and raise the child themselves. That is their choice. That is the beauty of choice. I don't know that individual woman's situation. I don't know what she's been through. I don't know how hard this will be for her. I don't know her personal medical or health history. And it's none of my business.
Why do you need a bunch of men to legislate this for everyone else? That's the part that doesn't make any sense to me at all. After you answer that question, we're going to bring on Laci Green.
I know you're all going to groan and get upset, but it goes back to what I believe in, and that's what I stand on. And that is why, for me to see people have abortion, it brings pain to my heart, because I know a child's life just, a child just lost his life, and I could have spoken against that. That is how I see it, and that is why I defend my case. So, and I'm going to leave it there.
Okay.
So, Raissa, I was listening to what you were saying earlier about it coming down to killing a life or taking a life, which I completely understand. I do. What I don't understand, I guess, and maybe what you could talk about for a second, is the fact that there are millions of lives, millions of babies that are dying all over the world right now. The world is in a really awful, awful state, as I'm sure you already know. And what I don't understand is fighting against death this way, because this way, even if you think it's death, that's fine. Even if you think it's killing a baby, that's fine. I think that that's a valid opinion, and I think that you should have the right to believe that for yourself and for your family and whatever. But fighting against babies dying in this way is very bizarre when there are literally over 800 million people starving, dying, living in poverty, dying of disease, dying in horrible, miserable ways. It's absolutely absurd and awful. Why not put your efforts, put your passion, put your belief toward that? Because these are babies too. These are babies that have already been born. You know, why not help them? Because they're going to die too. It's the same cycle, you know?
Definitely. I definitely agree with everything you just said. It makes a lot of sense. And me being from a third world country, or my family originally, you know, and seeing people die starving every single day, I've seen it firsthand. You know, it's not like I've saw it in movies or news. I saw it firsthand, so I know exactly how that feels. But the thing is, I do speak against that too. I speak against both, and I use my passion to speak and bring awareness against both of those things. It's not just one of them. You might see me on Twitter talking about pro-life more, but, you know, I do travel to my country, travel around to try and bring awareness to those issues too. So, I mean, okay, so you mentioned putting the majority of your efforts toward abortion. So can I ask why, excuse me. Can I ask why abortion is more pressing? Because if you're really passionate about saving lives, then it seems like that passion would be better spent trying to get people resources and trying to end global poverty and speaking out against the awful corrupt systems that hold systematic death in place. See, abortion isn't systematic death. Abortion is a matter of individual choice. But the death that I'm talking about is where people die without choice. They die, they come on earth, they suffer, and then they die. Instead of never coming out from the earth or ever being able to survive by themselves. These are babies that have, passed that point. I agree, and my question to you is, what makes you think that I don't speak or try and work against that too? You know, it's not because I don't tweet about it often, you know, but to say I don't do that. Like I said, I am from a third world country originally, so I know this and I see this, and I always speak against it. I go to events and talk about it and try and get people to open up their eyes about what's going on around the world. You know, I do talk about it, but, you know, with pro-life, the same thing too. I talk about both and spend my energy and passion on both, not just one, because to me, I see life the same way. So I will use my passion to go against both, and not just, I won't pick which one to use more than the other. I use my efforts the same way as I would use for both of them.
Okay.
You know, it's not going to be focused on one more than the other. I use my energy and my passion for both. I suppose a question was asking me why I don't use my energy to help, you know, kids who are dying and the poor and stuff. Well, my answer is I do that. So it was kind of weird to assume that I didn't do it, but I do that.
The assumption there is, if I may, reading your Twitter timeline, for example, and you do Twitter a lot, I don't see nothing about that on Twitter from you.
Well, that's because my Twitter is specifically, I talk about God on my Twitter.
Sure.
You know, I have a Facebook too, and I go to events, and I have little events that I have here in Ottawa, and you know, at schools and stuff like that. That I do Twitter. I mostly use it just to talk about God, and that's something that I made clear